February 5th or 6th, I think. Probably upload this today, my first driving video. I do not have any stabilization technique for my phone, so if you get nauseous or car sick easily, probably best to just listen. Anyway, yeah, so early in the month of February, a lot to talk about. Yeah, February 6th. I did get my first direct shipper, and by that I mean I've worked with the shipping manager at a facility near my house to just get loads from him. So very much like a broker-carrier relationship, except cutting the broker out. And ultimately, my gain is that I'm getting the difference between what he's moving him for with the brokers, so cutting the broker percentage out, and what he gets is, he knows the shipper, he knows the carrier rather, so he doesn't have to deal with any of that. If there is an issue, then he's going to hear it from me, as opposed to having to go through a broker and then the broker go to the shipping manager. So there's advantages both ways. The disadvantage is this is a food. The loads are baking soda, and they are absolute Nazis about clean trailers. Now I keep a pretty clean trailer. I sweep my trailer out regularly. I always sweep it out before I go to this facility. I've been there a number of times on brokered loads, probably 3-4 times, never had an issue. Well, a couple days ago on Monday, I went to go do my first load for this company, and my trailer got rejected. They found 2 microscopic pieces of glass in my trailer, and glass is the absolute no-no. So I was respectful and calm, and I spoke with everybody up through the chain before leaving, because I was refused, and I did have to deadhead home. I had deadheaded about 110 miles out there, deadheaded about 110 miles back, so that was a loss, of $220 and a day. Well, I shouldn't say 220, I should say 220 miles and a day. There was a nasty snowstorm coming in, so I was trying to stay in front of it. So the saving grace was that I didn't have to drive through that storm. I doubt I would have gotten in front of it, because I had to go over Vail Pass and Eisenhower Tunnel. And odds are, if it's snowing anywhere in the vicinity, west or east, it's going to be snowing up there. Those roads can get really bad. And the loads are super, super heavy, which I know some guys like in slippery conditions. I do not. As far as I'm concerned, unless it's windy, I'd rather not be heavy. I just find it much easier to stop and gain control of the rig when I'm lighter. Just less force of gravity, less momentum. I drive pretty slow normally anyway. I'm not hitting corners fast, particularly when it is slippery out. I'm getting passed by guys whose rigs are not as nearly outfitted for those kinds of conditions as my rig is, and maybe they're just that much better. But I've always subscribed to the theory that you can take a corner too slow as many times as you want. Well, you can take a corner or a hill too slow as many times as you want, but you can only take it too fast once. Anyway, I'm out here in Timbuktu, Nowhere, Texas, just south of Memphis, Texas, on my way to Houston on a different load, because my trailer was refused. But back to that story before I digress too far. I was able to reach out to the shipping manager and say to him, hey, I'm really sorry. I was really hoping we were going to have a long relationship, being able to do these loads, but my trailer was refused. I know you gave me plenty of knowledge that the trailer inspection was stringent and that glass was an automatic rejection. They did find 2 pieces of glass. I just wanted to apologize to you personally, because it sounds like now that this trailer has been rejected, it's rejected forever. And he said, no, we can still work together. Just get a washout, give it a couple, 3 weeks, 3, maybe 4 weeks, and the argument can be that the washout got the wood floor porous, and then the other loads that you carried helped to work out some of that glass. And then also, they got you recorded on their list now as a rejected trailer, so you want to give it some time to move your name down the list, and then maybe they won't catch it. So that was kind of nice. So that option is still available to me. One of the interesting things with that is it really helps shed some light on how narrow everybody's margins are. So I trust this guy, and I trust the rate he's given me to be able to move it is the rate he's given the brokers, because he just seems like a really upstanding guy, and the rate and the numbers he's telling me are a little bit higher than the numbers that the brokers are willing to go up to. But one of the things that I was humbled by was how narrow those margins that the brokers are moving these particular loads for. Less than 10%. However, 3%, if I don't factor, but if you factor, that's 3% of every load, 10% to the brokers, and any other interest rates you got going on in your business, those all hurt. So every percentage that you can keep in house adds up. So I was very interested in building this relationship. Plus, it's outbound freight out of my home area, which is very difficult to secure. So I am happy that there's still a chance to have a relationship with this facility. I will be employing it again. Of course, it's always a fear that you're going to show up there after a 100+ mile deadhead and have your trailer rejected. So there's a risk involved for sure. But I'm going to continue to. I'm going to follow up with that next time I'm home for my outbound load. I'm going to try it again, and if it's available, of course, and we'll see if we get anywhere. Yeah, so that was that. That's the update there. Direct freight, baby. And for a one-way trip, it's not bad, particularly if the weather isn't horrible. I mean, granted, Vail Pass and Eisenhower Tunnel are 2 of the steepest, nastiest driving sections in America. In the winter, it can be awful, and in the summer, chain laws for sure on both are a possibility. I do have automatic chains on my truck that I had installed when I bought it, so that's a real advantage, at least in Colorado. Every state has its own chain law requirements, but I didn't do a ton of research on other states. Colorado is really worried about you just being able to not get stuck on the uphill, so they just require that one of every drive tire get chained. They will close passes. They will close those passes from time to time, mainly for accidents, but sometimes proactively, because it's just so bad that they know that there will be accidents if they don't. With all that being said, I can just flip a switch and keep on rolling if I choose to, unless of course it's shut down. There is no practical way around those routes. And the rate is not bad for a one-way rate. To have a dedicated carrier who only ran those lanes out of there, well, you would really need, a decent rate to go both ways. And it's not there at this. However, I could begin to work, once this relationship is working, I could begin to work on some kind of dedicated, not contract, but dedicated freight on the way back. And that would keep me a lot closer to the house at a very competitive rate. Like I said, the way in and out of here is nasty mountain passes. So in the wintertime, you're dealing with snow and ice, real slow travel times. Because on the way up these passes, 25 miles an hour at 80,000 pounds is a good speed. Sometimes it can get as low as 20 or 15 miles an hour on the way up. Really, really adds to the drive time. And then in the summer, transmission overheating is a real problem as well. I have a 308 rear end, which is not great for climbing hills. I'm a real dog on the uphills. Even empty, I can get slowed down significantly. I've noticed most OTR guys have a 366 that I've seen. I've seen them even as high as in the 4s. So, those are hill climbing trucks. Something like a 405 rear end. That is a hill climbing truck. At 70 miles an hour, the fuel mileage is going to be in the toilet, but not a bad rig. So yeah, that's really my updates. I talk about rates here for a second. This is my first February, and rates suck. Rates are bad. Like less than operating costs, that's for sure. So I think all of us spot market guys, and I have talked to some other spot market guys recently, they're not as shaken by it nearly as I am. I do not like running this rig at below operating costs. I just do not like it. I always want to be moving it in the right direction. Now, of course, if you stay home and wait it out, your fixed costs are still hitting you. So you're getting, I'm putting out $6,000 a month of fixed costs, whether I run or not. So that, that would be negative $6,000 if I took the whole month off, versus maybe negative $2,000 if I'm running at these prices. So, yeah, I am choosing to run, obviously. The next thing, of course, is, running for these, this is what's going on in my mind, I should say. Running for these numbers, these dollars. I'm putting miles on my rig, which has been running real well. She doesn't need to go in the shop at all. And I hate to be burning up these trouble-free miles at a loss, but it is what it is. And it is the nature of the business. And I am green. I just am taking some solace in knowing that the other guys who are out here with a whole lot more miles under their belt are not nearly as shaken by these rates as I am. But they are bad. Real bad. I hope to do some phone calls here in the near future with brokers. As I know, when I was starting my business, I could only find 1 or 2 different videos where guys were calling brokers trying to show how it's done. It is one of the things I think I do pretty well. You can get a feel for the flexibility on rates pretty quickly. And work on your negotiation tactics. And for me, it helps a lot to see it done. All right, well, that's everything for this video. Thanks for subscribing. Please subscribe, like, do all those good things. That's going to help my analytics, get me some more viewers. Because this is all about relationship. All of life is about relationship.